Good evening friends, welcome back to our BSc third year class. In today's lecture we are going to discuss remaining numerical problem related with particle properties of wave, and after that we are going to end this first chapter. From tomorrow onwards we will start a new chapter. Okay, so let us start a numerical problems one by one. First problem is that estimation of the Planck's constant when two ultraviolet beam of wavelength lambda 1 is equal to 80 nanometer and lambda 2 is equal to 110 nanometer fall on a lead surface. They produces photoelectron with maximum energy 11.390 electron volt and 7.154 electron volt respectively. Then first estimate the numerical value of Planck's constant. Next calculate the work function, the cutoff frequency and the cutoff wavelength of lead. Means what? Actually this problem is basically related with the photoelectric effect, in which incident radiations produces photoelectron and that photoelectron carries a current, and this overall effect is called as photoelectric effect. We have to use that photoelectric effect to solve this problem to find out a Planck's constant. First we know the kinetic energy of the emitted electron is equal to hc by lambda minus w, or work function, or it is also in some books it is written by phi. K1 is the kinetic energy for the wavelength lambda 1 and K2 is the kinetic energy for the wavelength lambda 2. K2 is equal to hc by lambda 2 minus omega or w. The difference between these two expressions is given by K1 minus K2 is equal to hc by hc into lambda 2 minus lambda 1 by lambda 1 lambda 2, which is equal to K1 minus K2 divided by c into lambda 1 lambda 2 divided by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, where 1 electron volt is nothing but 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. Hence the numerical value of h can be written as K1 is equal to 11.39 minus 7.154 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule divided by c. C is the velocity of light, which is equal to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second into lambda 1 is equal to 80 nanometer, 80 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meter, and lambda 2 is equal to 110 nanometer, 110 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meter, divided by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, 110 minus 80 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meter. If we simplify, or if we do some numerical calculations, then you will get h is equal to 6.623627 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second, which is nearly equal to the Planck's constant. This is a very accurate result indeed. Actually the value of Planck's constant is 6.623 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule. Then after this we have to find out the work function of the metal can be obtained from either one of the two data. Here work function for a specific material is same. Here for wavelength lambda 1 it is a w, and for wavelength lambda 2 it is also w, because in this case we are using a same material, that is lead. That's why work function is same. You can find out the work function with the help of lambda 1 or with the help of lambda 2, it gives same value. Therefore, work function is equal to Hc by lambda 1 minus K1. K1 is the kinetic energy associated with the wavelength lambda 1. 6.627 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule into 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second divided by 80 into 10 to the power of minus 9 meter minus 11.39 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. If we simplify this, you will get 6.627 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule, which is equal to 4.14 into 4.14 electron volt. If we divide with charge of an electron, it gives 4.14 electron volt. The cutoff frequency and the wavelength of lead are. After getting this work function, we have to find out the cutoff frequency, which is equal to work function, or work function is equal to h nu naught, or nu naught is equal to work function divided by h. 6.627 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule divided by 6.627 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second, it gives 10 to the power of 15 hertz. 10 to the power of 15 hertz, or in terms of wavelength, which is c by nu naught, it gives 300 nanometer. Means higher wavelength, higher frequency with lower wavelength. In this way, we can find out the Planck's constant, work function, cutoff frequency, and cutoff wavelength. Next, high energy photon, that is gamma ray, are scattered from electrons initially at rest. Assume the photon as a backscattered and their energies are much larger than the electrons' rest mass energy. Therefore, E is greater, very greater than electrons' rest mass energy, that is MEC square. Then calculate the wavelength shift, or that is also called as Compton shift. Next, show that the energy of the scattered photon is half of the rest mass energy of the electron, regardless of the energy of the incident photon. C. Calculate the electron's recoil kinetic energy if the energy of the incident photon is 150 mega electron volt. Then first, we have to find out the Compton shift, that is delta lambda is equal to lambda prime minus lambda, which is equal to 2 lambda c sin square pi by 2, or theta is equal to pi, because there is a here, assume that the photons are back scattered, means when it is incident on a rest electron, it back scattered, means what the phase difference is 180 degree, that is why theta is equal to pi. Therefore, delta lambda is equal to lambda prime minus lambda into lambda prime minus lambda is equal to 2 lambda c sin square pi by 2, which is equal to sin square pi by 2 is nothing but 2 lambda c. Therefore, Compton shift is equal to 2 lambda c, which is equal to, if we substitute the value of c and lambda, because lambda into c is nothing but h by MEC. Here we are going to convert this lambda c in terms of h by MEC, because lambda is nothing but h by p, h by p. Therefore, h by p is nothing but m into me into c, which is equal to 2.426 into 10 to the power of minus 12 meter. Because if we solve this 2 lambda c, it gives 4.86 into 10 to the power of minus 12 meter value. This much is wavelength of Compton shift. Delta lambda is equal to lambda prime minus lambda is equal to 2 lambda c sin square pi by 2, which is equal to 2 lambda c. If you substitute the value of lambda c, lambda and c, it gives 4.86 into 10 to the power of minus 12 meter, and since lambda c is equal to 4.86 into 10 to the power of 12 divided by 2, or which is also equal to h by mec, therefore we are getting 2.426 into 10 to the power of minus 12 meter. Means in this way we can find out the Compton shift or wavelength shift. Next, I want to show that the energy of scattered photon is half of the rest mass energy of the electron. How we can show that scattered photon having energy is equal to half of the rest mass energy? As we know, scattered photon with energy E prime is equal to hc by lambda prime. hc by lambda prime is nothing but hc by lambda plus 2h by mec, 2h by mec, because lambda prime is nothing but a lambda plus Compton shift, that is delta lambda. It is delta lambda. Here we are substituting the value of delta lambda only. Delta lambda is nothing but 2 lambda c, or lambda c is nothing but h by mec. Just simply substitute the value of lambda c, you will get mec square divided by mec square lambda by sc plus 2. If you simplify this, you will get mec square divided by mec square by e plus 2. Then E is equal to hc by lambda is the energy of incident photon, which is always greater than or very greater than the rest mass energy. That's why E prime is equal to mec square by 2 into 1 plus mec square by 2e raised to minus 1. By using binomial expansion, you can expand this term one plus me square by 2e raised to no need to use a binomial expansion. Just simply, if you take the mec square by 2 common, then you will get 1 plus mec square by 2e raised to minus 1, which is equal to the mec square by 2. Now here we have to use, just multiply this mec square by 2 inside the bracket, then you will get mec square by 2 minus mec square raised to whole bracket square divided by 4e, which is equal to mec square by 2, because the denominator term E is very greater than rest mass energy. If we divide the rest mass energy with energy of scattered photon, not scattered, energy of incident photon, then this factor was very less. That's why E prime is equal to nearly equal to mec square by 2, which is equal to 0.25 mega electron volt, 0.25 mega electron volt, because calculate incident photon with energy 150 mega electron volt. If we compare this incident energy of photon and scattered energy of photon, it is 134 times greater than the scattered photon. If incident photon with energy 150 mega electron volt, then find out the kinetic energy of the recoil electron, which is equal to E minus E prime. E is the energy of incident photon minus E prime. E prime is nothing but energy of a scattered. scattered of photon. That's why 150 mega electron volt minus 0.25 mega electron volt, it gives 149.75 mega electron volt. 149.75 mega electron volt. This much kinetic energy associated with recoil electron. Okay. Next, matter waves for microscope and macroscopic system. Calculate d Broglie for a proton of kinetic energy 70 mega electron volt, kinetic energy, and a 100-gram bullet moving with 900 meter per second. We have to find out the de Broglie's wavelength for a microscopic particle as well as for macroscopic particle. Since the kinetic energy of the proton is p square by 2m, or m is the mass of proton, its momentum p is equal to square root of 2 t mp. Then de Broglie's wavelength lambda p is equal to h by lambda of proton is equal to h by p, or h by square root of 2 t mp. But the quantity, it is more efficient to introduce the well known quantity h cross c. H cross c is equal to or nearly equal to 197 mega electron volt. Energy of proton is near about 197 mega electron volt, and the rest mass of the proton mpc square is equal to 938.3 mega electron volt, where c is the speed of light. Therefore lambda p is equal to 2 pi h cross c by pc. H cross c by pc, just divide and multiply 2 pi. That's why h by 2 pi is nothing but h cross by h cross c by pc. 2 pi into h cross c by pc is nothing but square root of 2 t m p c square. If you substitute the value of kinetic energy and rest mass energy, 197 mega electron volt divided by square root of 2 938.3 into 70 mega electron volt. If we simplify mega electron volt square, you will get 3.4 into 10 to the power of minus 15 meter. This much de Broglie's wavelength associate with proton. Similarly, we have to find out how much de Broglie's wavelength associated with the macroscopic system. In that case, de Broglie's wavelength for a macroscopic object or for bullet, lambda b is equal to h by p or h by mv. We know the mass of bullet, we know the velocity of bullet, it gives 7.4 into 10 to the power of minus 36 meter. This much difference can be occurred for de Broglie's wavelength for micro and macroscopic particle. If you take the ratio of these two wavelengths, it gives 2.2 into 10 to the power of minus 21. It clears that the wave aspect of this bullet lies beyond human observations ability. As for the wave aspects of the proton, it cannot be neglected. Its de Broglie's wavelength, that is 3.4 into 10 to the power of minus 15 meter, has the same order of magnitude as size of typical atomic nucleus. Means we can apply this de Broglie's wavelength formula for micro as well as macroscopic particle. Okay. Next, last problem. Estimate the uncertainty in the position of neutron at 5 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second and a 50 kg person moving with 2 meter per second. We have to find out uncertainty in the position. It means we have to use Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, that is delta x into delta p is equal to h cross or greater than h cross or h. If we use that uncertainty principle, delta x is always greater than or equal to h cross by 2 lambda 2 delta p, which is equal to h cross by 2 m mass of neutron into velocity, which is equal to 1.05 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second divided by 2 into 1.65 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg into 5 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second. It gives 6.4 into 10 to the power of minus 15 meter. It means what? The uncertainty in position in case of neutron is 6.4 into 10 to the power of minus 15 meter. This distance is comparable with the size of a nucleus. Similarly, for the uncertainty in position of that person can be found out by delta x is equal to greater than or equal to h cross by 2 delta p, which is equal to h cross by 2 mv. If we substitute the value of h cross and mv, it gives 1.05 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second divided by 2 into 50 kg into 2 meter per second, which is equal to 0.5 into 10 to the power of minus 36 meter. This uncertainty of this magnitude is beyond a human detection, therefore it can be neglected. The accuracy of the person's position is limited only by the uncertainty indicted by the device used. Okay, these are the numerical problems related with the first chapter, that is particle properties of wave. Try to solve as much as possible more numerical problems to clear your ideas about the photoelectric effect, Compton effect, and group velocity, phase velocity concepts. Okay, if you have any doubt related with this chapter, you can ask me. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start a new chapter, that is Schrodinger's equations, that we will discuss in next lecture. Thank you.